Hey everybody. That was pretty quick. It's always kind of quick once you hit that live button and say, yeah, sure, let's go live. Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. It is about a little after 5 on Wednesday, and I hope you guys are having a good day. Got home a little earlier. We decided to kind of shift my schedule a bit. So I'm not spending almost 2 hours on a bus now. It's just an hour. Yay! Anyway, if I sound super nasally, that's just allergies. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. So okay. What are we looking at? Okay, so what we're looking at is it's near our house. That little flat piece here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Okay, so this I believe is, I'm going to call it Fort Island. And this in the distance, some people may see, but it's super blurry. And that is the Pearl Harbor, the Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor. It's really shaky because I'm zoomed in all the way in. A phone is not meant to do that. Okay, so that's kind of the view that we're taking a look at today, and just kind of a panorama. This is looking out toward Honolulu. Yeah, and if you look all the way in the distance, you will be able to see Diamond Head. Kind of cool. You can barely see it. It's poking out, kind of like right there. Anyway, okay, so we didn't really come here to talk scenery. We came to talk a little bit about politics and just kind of share a little bit of what I'm viewing. So not everything in the world is terrible and horrible. So we've got some pretty scenery to look at while we kind of talk a little bit of nuts and bolts. And okay, so midterms. Midterms didn't quite happen the way we had hoped. Actually, it was an outcome that appeased both sides. If you look at it, it was a win-win. The House went to the Dems, and they were stoked about it. Obviously, if you take a look at Nancy Pelosi's speech, she's a very happy gal. As well as she should be, right? Because she will probably be the next Speaker of the House. So, happy person. Nice. House went to the Dems, and the Senate went to the Republicans. So that's going to make for a very interesting 2 years. Yeah. So, I don't want to armchair quarterback it because, everybody and their brother is doing it. We will just kind of have to wait and see. One side cannot do a whole hell of a lot without the other. Right? That's how our founders set it up. There are always checks and balances. There are things that may be initiated, but, again, we should all be trying to come together and come up with a solution to our issues, and not just, I hate this dude just because. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to armchair quarterback it. Everybody and their brother is doing it, and they do a lot better analysis than I do. Let's see, what should we talk about? Oh, when I was on the bus, I got a fun little alert that said, Jim Acosta banned from the White House. And I know it's so horrible to laugh like that, okay? I know it really is, but a lot of us are super stoked that this has happened. It couldn't have happened to a nicer asshat. Jim Acosta has been belligerent for the last 2 years. And if you truly, really want to take a look at it, it's probably been closer to like 30 plus months since Trump started his campaign, where Acosta was just kind of, very, had a lot to say. Mouthy dude. Anyway, so the reason why Acosta was booted from the White House wasn't because of his terrible journalism skills, it was not because of his belligerent behavior toward the president. It was because he, quote unquote, put his hands on a female White House intern. Okay, yeah, we're going to let that sit for a second. Okay, so basically, it sounds bad, and it sounds worse than it is, but it does illustrate how much he thinks that he can get away with a lot of bad behavior. Okay, so basically what happened was during a press conference today, Acosta was, his usual self, being very antagonistic toward the president, asked him why he called the migrant caravan, which should never be called a migrant caravan. He asked why the president called the migrant caravan an invasion. And then so things kind of got a little testy, and so he was asked to leave. And the White House intern said, okay, you need to go now. Please, hand me your microphone. And she tried to take the microphone from him, and he became, unruly, and that's when he manhandled her. I don't know the specifics of what happened. Sarah Sanders is just saying that the reason why Acosta was booted from the White House, basically his White House press pass was pulled indefinitely for putting his hands on a female White House intern. Okay, so this is, I think this is a win. This is a big win. And some people are saying, oh my gosh, no, how could this happen? Journalism, blah, 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 journalism. You know what? CNN has not been engaging in true journalism for years, okay? They've been engaging in leftist propaganda. So if you're going to lament anything, lament the fact that CNN will not have Jim Acosta to push its narrative and to churn out propaganda against our president. Okay, so the only thing that's going to suffer is fake news, really. CNN fake news. And so it'll be interesting to see how long CNN will actually try to milk this situation before they decide to tap another reporter to go on the inside. Because basically each organization is allowed X number of correspondents. You just have to apply, right? The organization just has to apply for the reporter, and that's pretty much it. So, what Acosta did, it just kind of speaks to his character, right? And I'm not trying to say that he's a horrible person, or he shakes girls repeatedly, or he does X, Y, Z. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that he has led a very contentious and entitled existence for the last 15 to 20 years. Okay, so a little bit. Okay, and this will be thoroughly relevant in a minute, and I promise you, it will not be a tangent or a rabbit hole that I fall into and never crawl out of. Okay, so a long while ago, I worked for a television station. I worked for a CBS affiliate. I was a director, and at one point I became a producer. But I directed the evening news. Okay, so basically everything that goes on the air, I had to call, right? Okay, and I had a fantastic production team, as well as news team. They were the behind the scenes guys are very dedicated to perfecting their craft and not sounding like really super lame or super arty. But these guys prided themselves on doing a good job and conducting a clean show, and a clean show was basically no mistakes. Okay, so I know I almost fell into that rabbit hole. So working at the CBS affiliate, we did live shots, and CBS provides their affiliates with reporters. So if there's a national story So let's say if there's a story about, gosh, budget. Okay, so let's say there's a story about a budget was just passed, right? Or the healthcare bill was just passed. CBS would either have a reporter there, right? A correspondent who would cover it. Or if it was spot news, they would have a CBS News Path reporter who would do the intro and the outros. And they would, they would also have, a canned video about whatever event it was. Okay, so working at the television station I did, which was a CBS affiliate, we routinely used CBS News Path, right, which provides those reporters. Well, when I was a director, guess who was a CBS News Path reporter? Mr. Jim Acosta. Okay, so I remember when Jimbo started, and I personally do not know him. I only loosely know him through working alongside of him in terms of my producer would set up a time. Our producer would set up a time. We would book the satellite time on when Acosta would do, a piece of a live shot for us. We would go to him, and then we would go to the canned story, and then we would get out of it. Okay. And that's what, most local television news stations do, right? They go to the national reporter. That's what he did for CBS News Path. So when he first started with CBS News Path, he was a really nice guy. He was very, thank you, whatever you talk to him off air. Hey, there's an issue with your mic. Can you just sort it out? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Fine. And he was a very nice guy. But, as the months wore on, and as usually happens on that gig, people start to change and evolve. Anyway, I did notice that Acosta was became more prissy, and prissy is a word that we would use for reporters who were just, they weren't really nasty, they weren't really mean, but they felt like that they were kind of the shiznet. They thought that their poop didn't stink, and that they were awesome and amazing. And so it was kind of like this level of conceit, but that they were also owed something. And, I saw that kind of evolution happen with Acosta. So I am not surprised that while working with CNN and eventually becoming the CNN White House correspondent, that those attributes blossomed. And he's, the contentious asshat we see in the press briefings daily. So not really surprised that this happened to him. It was just a matter of time. And it'll be interesting to see how long CNN will wait before they decide to get another correspondent credentialed with the White House, or how they're going to spin it, because that CNN is going to do everything that they can to make like they're the victim. And that they're going to prop up Jimbo as the victim, because technically in their eyes he's quote unquote taken one for the team. Anybody who thinks that journalism is going to fail or suffer doesn't wholly understand what journalism is if you say that, because then you're inferring that CNN and Jim Acosta engages in journalism, and they haven't done that for quite some time. Anyway, guys, when I heard the news, I was elated. So I was a little sad earlier about the midterms. I was hoping that we meaning Republicans, would be able to eke out a win in the House, even if it was just by 1 or 2 seats, but we didn't. So what totally made my day, though, was hearing that Jim Acosta was ejected. So I'm just going to kind of bask in that for a moment and enjoy the sunset. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. In some places I know it's probably broaching on midnight. Anyway, have a great day. Take care. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you have any topics or anything that you would like for us at Kitchen Table Media to research, go ahead and hit us up in the comments. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.